Discover how a billionaire transformed the life of a homeless girl dumped in trash, an inspiring tale of redemption and hope. Lily lay among the forgotten debris of the city, her tiny frame half buried beneath yesterday's news and discarded coffee cups. At 12 years old, she had witnessed the relentless grip of neglect wrap around her life, leaving her scavenging for scraps while dreams drifted away like the refuse around her. Life had tossed her aside like yesterday's trash, but her spirit, bright and fierce, pushed through the gloomy shadows of the slums. She woke each day before dawn, her heart swelling with resilience as she dug through the heaps in search of anything useful, a half-eaten sandwich, a shiny tin can, but deep down, she longed for connection, for family, or even a glimpse of hope. In a world bustling with the lives of others, she felt invisible, drowning in a sea of indifference. That fateful morning, as the sun broke through the city's smoggy grasp, the rhythmic patter of footsteps echoed through the alley. Evan, a self-made billionaire in his late 30s, was jogging through the neighborhood, his mind consumed with meetings and financial reports. But then he froze when he caught sight of Lily, a small, feral flower blooming amidst a garbage heap. His heart ached at that moment, a sensation he hadn't experienced in years. Quickly, Evan knelt beside her, his sharp suit contrasting sharply against squalor as he offered her a granola bar. Just a simple gesture, but for Lily, it was monumental. "Why are you here?" he whispered, his voice softening amidst the heavy smell of refuse. That act of kindness ignited something in him, a spark of empathy, opening his eyes to the city's injustices. He took Lily into his world, shielding her from the storm of her previous life. Stepping into his luxury high-rise felt like entering a dream for her, a world filled with bright lights, gourmet meals, and endless possibilities. She marveled at the serene views as Evan shared his life, slowly becoming entwined in her struggles and fierce spirit. But as their friendship blossomed, Evan was forced to face his own demons. Each late night building his empire had cost him personal happiness, and he began to see how wealth could never replace genuine connections. The community around them, once skeptical, started to support Lily, igniting conversations about generosity, merit, and the true meaning of family. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. Lily became a beacon of hope to Evan, stirring him to reconsider what success truly meant. But just as their bond began to flourish, like storm clouds rolling in, an unforeseen setback arrived. Lily's estranged mother resurfaced, demanding custody, shattering the fragile peace they built. The cacophony of emotions bubbled to the surface, forcing Evan to reckon with his priorities. Should he fight for Lily, whose light had ignited his heart, or surrender to the family obligation he was never truly a part of? Just then, a powerful realization gripped him. This was more than just a battle for custody, it was a reckoning of love, sacrifice, and ambition. With the anticipation of a recognition ceremony looming over them, both stood poised on the brink of everything they fought for. Would they find strength in each other, or like the refuse of the city, would their dreams get tossed aside once more? The day dawned heavy with tension. Evan paced in his high-rise, glancing occasionally at the golden skyline that had once felt like his greatest achievement. Now, it seemed overshadowed by the specter of Lily's mother, a figure from a past that should have stayed buried. The very idea of her sweeping back into Lily's life felt like a storm threatening to wipe out the fragile home they had built together. Lily sat by the window, her small hands clasped together, staring out at the city alive with the dawn. The warmth of the sun touched her face, but it felt distant, like the love she had yearned for. She thought of her mother, memories swirling, fragments of laughter and sharp words that pierced through her heart. Would her mother take her away? Would she have to navigate life's murky waters alone once more? Evan's heart raced as he confronted the decision looming before him. The legal paperwork lay scattered across the dining table, a stark reminder of the battle they were about to face. He had never fought for anything beyond profit margins and business deals. But this? This was different. Lily had become a part of him, a vital thread weaving through the fabric of his understanding of family. He returned to the room, kneeling before her, searching her eyes for solace. "We'll figure this out together, Lily," he promised, his voice steady despite the turmoil inside him. "You're not alone. Not anymore." She glanced at him, hope flickering like a candle in a storm. In that moment, tears pooled in Lily's eyes. She felt grateful yet terrified. What if she takes me back? The question trembled between them, raw and vulnerable. Evan's heart sank. He wanted to shield her from the possibilities of pain, but could he guarantee it wouldn't happen? The troubling thoughts crashed over him like waves. He reached out, gently squeezing her hand. "We'll fight. We'll bring people together. Show them what we are, what we've become." He thought of everyone who had rallied around her, those who had come to see Lily as a vibrant part of their community. They would stand by them. He would not yield to fear. Meanwhile, in another part of the city, Lily's mother fumed in a cramped apartment, clutching the phone tight. She had made a plan, a standard maneuver to reclaim control. She couldn't stand to see her daughter living a life that should have been hers to shape. But deep down, did she even want Lily back? The money, the power, it all seemed so enticing. Though it carried a heavy price. As the day went on, Evan and Lily worked tirelessly to gather support. Every neighbor, every sympathetic ear, they reached out to everyone willing to listen. It felt like a small army rising against an unseen tide, and the more voices they rallied, the more their hope began to swell. They faced whispers and unsure glances, yet amidst it all, they found strength. On the night before the court hearing, the atmosphere was electric with uncertainty. They stood together on the balcony, the city lights flickering below like stars fallen on earth. "Whatever happens," Evan said, a quiet intensity in his voice, "you will always be my family, Lily." She looked at him, her heart full. "And you will always be mine." As dawn approached, they both knew a storm was brewing, a storm that could either solidify their bond or threaten to tear it apart irreversibly. Would love be strong enough to prevail through adversity, or would it be snatched away once again? Just then, a loud knock broke the silence, shocking them. Who could it be at this hour? Lily's pulse quickened, her heart raced with anticipation and dread. The door creaked open, and standing there was a figure cloaked in darkness, casting a long shadow over their shared moment of hope. "Lily," the voice lingered, sending shivers down her spine. It was time for the truth to unfurl, whether they were ready or not. The figure stepped into the light, revealing itself as a woman with sharp features and an intensity that cut through the air like a knife. "What are you doing here?" Lily's voice trembled, a mix of fear and defiance bubbling to the surface. Evan stood, positioning himself between them instinctively, a protective barrier. "You shouldn't have come here," he said firmly, his eyes locked onto the woman's with unwavering resolve. Her gaze shifted from Evan to Lily, a smirk playing at the corners of her mouth. "I was going to miss my daughter's big comeback. The court date's tomorrow, after all." Her voice dripped with a mix of mockery and an unsettling confidence that made Lily's stomach twist. "But I don't want to see you," Lily replied, her heart pounding in her chest. Each word felt like a step deeper into a familiar childhood fear, one she had hoped to leave behind forever. "Ah, but it doesn't matter what you want, does it?" Her mother stepped closer, dismissing Evan with the wave of a hand as if he were an insignificant fly. "You see, I'm entitled to my daughter's life. You've had your fun pretending to be her father figure. But it's time to come home, Lily." Lily's breath caught as her mother spoke. Home. The idea felt so distant now. She had forged her own version of home alongside Evan, and it didn't include the past that haunted her. "Home isn't just a place, it's where you feel safe," Evan interjected, his voice steady yet filled with an underlying urgency. "Lily is safe here with me. She's formed a life you abandoned." "Abandoned?" The woman's laughter was harsh, echoing around the room. There's more to this story than you know. She has a future, and I intend to give it to her if you step aside. Suddenly, the tension shifted from dread to fury. You don't get to dictate my life. Lily shouted, feeling emotions surge within her. You left me when I needed you most. You can't just come back and expect everything to be fine. The words hung in the air, resonating with all the years of abandonment she had bottled up inside. Her mother's expression faltered, but only for a moment. You think that pathetic life with him is more than I could offer? Money can change everything, Lily. I can give you the world. I don't want the world if it's built on lies, Lily replied, her voice softer now but stronger than before. Evan took a few steps closer to her, his presence steadying. You don't have to decide anything right now. We can fight this together. Just remember, you're not alone. The woman's eyes flared with anger, and for a moment, the motherly facade slipped. You think this is a fight? She hissed. You have no idea what I'm capable of. Lily felt the weight of those words, a shiver racing down her spine. There was a darkness in her mother that she couldn't ignore, but she felt the warmth of Evan beside her, anchoring her soul. What will you do now? Lily asked defiantly, ready to face whatever storm was brewing between them. Will you threaten us? Will you make promises you might not keep? Trust me, her mother replied coolly while stepping back, the shadows wrapping around her like a cloak. This isn't over. You'll soon learn that you can't escape the past. With that, she turned and disappeared into the night, leaving the door slightly ajar. Silence enveloped the room, thick and suffocating. Lily felt the fear ebbing away, but uncertainty lingered in the corners of her mind. Evan, she began hesitantly, her eyes betraying a flicker of doubt. What if she actually takes me away? What if I lose everything again? Taking her hand in his, he squeezed gently, ready to shield her from falling despair. We'll face it together, I promise. Whatever happens, I'm here. But as they shared this small slice of hope, a creeping unease settled in the pit of their stomachs. Because in the shadows lurked the memories of the past, and a battle was on the horizon. It was a fight that would test their bond like never before. As dawn crept closer, they both realized the stakes were higher than they had imagined. Would they be enough to protect the family they fought so hard to create? Suddenly, another knock echoed through the hallway, reverberating like a heartbeat. They exchanged worried glances. Who could that be? An ally or another threat? One thing was clear: the real battle for Lily's future was just beginning. Lily's heart raced as she exchanged glances with Evan, their uncertainty about the identity of the new visitor hanging in the air like fog. Another knock, this one more insistent, shattered the silence. Should we answer it? Lily whispered, anxiety creeping into her voice. Evan, still holding her hand, nodded slowly. We have to. It might be someone who can help. With bated breath, he approached the door and opened it wide. A figure stepped into the light, silhouetted against the dim hallway. It was a young man, maybe in his late 20s, with closely cropped hair and a nervous grin. Hi, he said sheepishly, shifting from one foot to the other. I'm Adam. I hope I'm not interrupting. No, you're not interrupting, Evan interrupted, his protective instinct still up. We've just had a visitor we weren't expecting. What do you need? Lily remained by Evan's side, feelings of dread lingering. She had thought the most dangerous confrontation of the night was over, but now, another newcomer had taken its place. I come with a message, Adam said, his tone growing serious. I know about your mother. Why should we trust you? Lily asked, narrowing her eyes, her heart still heavy from her recent encounter. Because I know her, and I know what she is capable of. You need to be prepared. Adam stepped forward, his urgency evident. Things are more twisted than you realize. She has been plotting for a long time, and it's not just about taking you back. Lily felt the room close in around her. What do you mean? Adam glanced around and lowered his voice, as if he feared someone might be listening. She's got plans that go beyond family. I can't explain everything right now, but it's dangerous and it's about more than just you. It's about power. Power? Evan said, his brow furrowed. What does that mean? Why would she want that over you or Lily? I can't say much, but think about it, Adam replied, glancing at Lily. If she can manipulate the court, use money to twist the system, she'll do whatever it takes to regain control. You were all she ever wanted and losing you drove her mad. He was breathing heavily, almost as if he was struggling with his own memories. Lily felt a pang of pain. Was that really how her mother saw her? As some tool to acquire more? She stumbled back, pulling away from Evan's solid presence inadvertently. Are you saying she'll use me? She whispered, the words tasting bitter on her tongue. Adam nodded, his expression grim. You have to understand you are her ticket to everything. If she gets you back, she could use that influence to hurt people. Maybe even those you care about. Evan stepped forward, wrapping an arm around Lily's shoulders, grounding her once again. We'll figure this out, he said, with a firm determination in his voice. You need to trust us, Adam. Can you help? Adam nodded swiftly. I've been following her moves. There's a lot to unpack, but we need to act fast. She's sharper, and more dangerous than you think. Suddenly, Lily looked up at him, comprehension dawning. So that means she won't give up easily. You're right, Adam said, urgency returning to his voice. She'll escalate this. You're going to need all the help you can get. The atmosphere shaped around them. It was filled with tension, fears, but also a glimmer of hope. If they could prepare, maybe they could turn the tables. As Adam began outlining a plan, the weight of the world pressed down on Lily. Each minute felt heavy, stretching as they discussed their potential strategy. She could feel her pulse quickening as thoughts of courtrooms and confrontations loomed large, but beneath that fear was something else, a flicker of defiance sparking within her. This wasn't just about her anymore, there were others at stake. A family formed on love was worth fighting for, and she'd be damned if she let her past define her future. Would they be strong enough to outsmart the woman who thought she controlled their lives? The thought circled in her head, and with it, uncertainty settled in once more, just as Lily made a decision to stand firm against her mother's looming threat. Another knock echoed from the door, sending an icy chill down her spine. They turned as the door swung open once more, revealing yet another unexpected visitor. Who else was coming to test their resolve? The door creaked wider, revealing a woman draped in a long, dark coat, with striking features partially shadowed by the brim of her hat. Her presence was magnetic, yet an undercurrent of tension rippled through the room. Alexandra, Adam breathed, recognition flashing across his face. What are you doing here? Lily exchanged glances with Evan, confusion painted on her features. Do you know her? Sort of, Adam replied cautiously. She has connections, but she's not one to trifle with. Is that an invitation or a warning? Alexandra's voice sliced through the murmurs of uncertainty. She stepped inside, her expression unreadable yet confident. What do you want? Evan asked, voice tight with skepticism, his protective instincts flaring once more. I'm here to help, she said, crossing her arms. You're going to need a bigger team if you want to protect Lily from her mother's plans. I have resources and information that could make a difference. A mix of emotions flooded Lily. Fear, hope, and skepticism all danced behind her eyes. And why should we trust you? She challenged, stepping forward despite the gnawing doubts. What do you gain from this? The same thing you do, Alexandra replied, her gaze unwavering. I've seen what unchecked power can do, and I want to stop it. Your mother is dangerous, not just to you, but to countless others. Help me to help you, and in turn, we break her influence. Dangerous how? Lily's heart raced. She felt the gravity of every word. What does she plan to do? Adam moved closer to Lily, tension radiating from him. More than just manipulating the court, he interjected. If she succeeds, it could reshape the very foundations of everything we know. Lily could sense the storm brewing within herself. It was as if every whipped-up fear was battling against an undeniable drive to confront her past head-on. What's the first step? She asked, her voice more assertive than she felt inside. There's an event in a week, a gala where the powerful gather, Alexandra said, the fire in her eyes igniting. It's the perfect opportunity to gather intel and influence. If we can get you close to her, we might be able to uncover what she's truly up to. But it's risky. You have to be ready for anything. Count me in, Evan declared, glancing at Lily, seeking her support. We can't let her drag you back into that world. Lily swallowed hard, feeling the weight of expectation resting heavily on her shoulders. Her mother's machinations felt overwhelming, but it was also a chance for her to reclaim her life, her choices. I'm in too, she said, surprising herself with the strength of her words. Just as the group began to strategize, the atmosphere shifted and unseen tension thickened the air. The door had barely closed when a low rumble echoed from outside, like the distant roll of thunder, but it resonated forebodingly in the pit of her stomach. What was that? Adam asked, his gaze darting toward the window, where storm clouds brewed ominously in the night sky. It's just thunder, Evan reassured, but Lily could feel that something was coming, something more than just a storm. Lily, we need to prepare, Alexandra insisted, urgency flaring in her tone. You may have just woken a storm, and it could change everything. We need to set plans in motion before time runs out. Lily's breath caught in her throat. What awaited them was still hidden, lurking in the shadows. They had no way of knowing whether it would be an ally or an adversary, but one thing was certain, a fight was brewing. As she steadied herself, Lily felt the resolve within ignite. She was done being a pawn in her mother's game. She was ready to reclaim not just her place, but her freedom, but the question loomed like a dark cloud over them: who would strike first in this battle? And would they be prepared for the fallout? Lily's heart raced as Alexandra's words hung in the air like the tension before a storm. She could feel the pulse of something dangerous and powerful inching closer, and yet her determination blazed brightly. She was going to turn back now. Evan swung into action, pacing the room as he sketched out a plan. We need to gather intel before the gala. There might be people we can talk to, allies who have been burned by your mother. Like who? Adam chimed in, his brow knitted. We can't just go around asking questions. If anyone finds out, it could mean curtains for all of us. Then we do it discreetly, Lily said, surprise mingling with conviction in her voice. She was taking the lead, and it felt liberating. We know how she operates. We can leverage that. Alexandra nodded, her expression shifting from skepticism to respect. Precisely. If we infiltrate her inner circle, we can gather the evidence needed to expose her motives. Evan focused on Lily, his eyes fierce. Are you sure? This isn't just about information. Your mother won't hesitate to use her power against you. I know, she replied, feeling the weight of his gaze. Anxiety twisted in her stomach, but she squashed it down. But if we don't act, we're giving her the upper hand. I won't be her victim anymore. The room hummed with an unspoken agreement as they set to work, pulling together resources and information. Ideas bounced around, each one piecing together an intricate plan. The camaraderie felt almost surreal. For the first time, she wasn't doing this alone. As night settled deeper, storm clouds churning ominously outside, Lily felt the weight of her decision settling around her like a cloak. With every plan they laid, her resolve strengthened. The shadows lurking on the horizon didn't just represent her mother's machinations, they also symbolized the fading chains binding her to the past. I'll need to face her, Lily said suddenly, voicing a thought she had been trying to chase away. At the gala, we're going to draw her out. I want her to see that I'm not afraid anymore. Evan's response was immediate, a mix of fear and anger flashing in his eyes. Lily, that's dangerous. She'll try to manipulate you, to use you against us. I have to. This is my life, my choices, she insisted. The conviction in her voice surprised even her. If I don't stand up now, she'll have power over me forever. Silence fell, thick with tension. Adam's gaze flicked between Evan and Lily, calculating. If you do this, we need to be ready for anything. We can't let her twist those vulnerabilities. We're all in this together. Alexandra's smile was thin but sincere. You indeed have your mother's spirit. We'll harness it in the right way. But deep down, Lily felt the tremor of uncertainty. Doubts crept in. Was she really prepared for the confrontation? What if her mother's power was too great? She could almost hear the whispers of self-doubt in the back of her mind, like the thunder rumbling ominously outside. The first heavy raindrops began to tap against the window, sending a shiver up her spine. It was a storm brewing, a storm she intended to ride out on her terms this time. As they finalized their plan, her phone buzzed violently on the table. It was a message from her mother's number, sent in the dead of night. The tension broke, fear replaced their determination momentarily. Lily froze, fingers trembling over the screen as she read the chilling words. I know where you are. You can't escape me. The storm was here, and it was more personal than she ever expected. Would she and her allies be able to withstand the chaos that was coming? Lily's mind spun with a mix of fear and defiance as she stared at the glowing screen. The storm outside intensified, raindrops pounding against the glass like her racing heart. What should we do? She breathed, her voice barely above a whisper. The atmosphere shifted in the room. Alexandra stepped closer, her eyes sharp. Stay calm. This could be a bluff, but we need to act like it's real. What if it's not? Adam interjected, pacing again. What if she's already got eyes on us? Evan clenched his fists, frustration flaring. We can't let her dictate our moves. We have to stay ahead of her game. Lily took a deep breath, finding strength in their tension. We need to move fast. What if she sends someone? We can't be caught off guard. Gather everything you can find on her connections, Evan said, nodding at Lily. Every ally she has could lead us to more information. We need to know what we're dealing with. Working together, the group split tasks, scrabbling through laptops and files, pulling up every article on her mother's business dealings, connections, and past enemies. It felt like assembling a jigsaw puzzle, pieces scattered, but slowly coming together as details emerged. Lily's heart raced not just with fear, but with an electrifying thrill. She was no longer the girl hiding in the shadows, she was part of something larger. In between frantic research sessions, Lily's phone buzzed again with a text. It was another message from her mother, this time just an image, a photo of a gala invitation. The words beneath it were unmistakable. Tonight, the world will see you for who you truly are. Her stomach twisted, but she didn't voice her fear. Instead, she passed the phone around, each of her friends sharing the weight of the fear that threatened to pull her back into the darkness. The challenge was set. There would be no backing down now. Okay, we need to figure out how to gain access to that gala, Alexandra said, determination lining her features. I can't show up as her daughter, Lily murmured. I need a cover to them, I might as well be a ghost. Evan turned on his heel. We could create a distraction, something big enough to draw attention away from you. Then you could slip in unnoticed. Lily's wheels started turning. Right. I could target the organization. Use my expertise to expose some of the behind-the-scenes dealings. That's risky, Adam said cautiously. Everything about this is risky, she countered. But it's my only chance to break out of her grasp. A moment of silence filled the air as everyone considered her words. Each face reflected a mixture of fear and admiration as the enormity of the upcoming confrontation settled in. The storm outside began to mirror the turmoil within. Wind rattled the windows, and the lights flickered uncertainly, bathing their planning in an eerie glow. I can't go back to being a victim, Lily added, her voice steady despite her racing heart. If she is coming for me, I'd rather be ready to fight than live in fear. Alexandra placed a hand on her shoulder, grounding her with warmth. We're with you, every step of the way. As the storm raged outside, the group felt the full weight of what lay ahead, a palpable tension blending fear with fierce determination. They were in this together, a little army against a powerful foe, but then, the power flickered again, and the room plunged into darkness for a brief moment before the emergency lights kicked in. The world outside was consumed by the storm, but inside that determination burned brighter. Just as reassurance washed over her, Lily's heart sank as the door creaked slightly. A figure stood silhouetted against the eerie light, an unwanted reminder of her mother's reach. It seems you're not as clever as you think, Lily. Every hair on her body stood on end. This was just the beginning, and there was no turning back now. What would happen when the lines between ally and enemy blurred in the chaos to come? Lily's breath caught in her throat as she recognized the figure. It was her mother, framed by the dim emergency lights, an embodiment of everything Lily had fought against. The room felt too small, the air thick with looming dread. Would this be the moment when her mother stepped back into control? Don't be so dramatic, dear, her mother said with a chilling coolness. It's all just a game, and you've chosen the wrong side. Adam clenched his fists, ready to step forward, but Evan placed a hand on his chest, silently urging him to stay back. Lily could feel all their eyes on her, the weight of their expectations pressing down hard. She couldn't be the frightened girl anymore, she had to stand firm. What do you want? Lily shot back, her voice stronger than she felt. You already know I'm not playing by your rules. Her mother smiled, an unsettling mix of pride and menace. You always were a headstrong child. But you still don't understand the stakes. The gala is my domain, and you've entered a world far beyond your comprehension. I know exactly what I'm doing, Lily replied, anger igniting in her chest. And I'm not afraid of you. That's adorable. Her mother tilted her head, amusement dancing in her eyes. But fear can be a powerful motivator, dear. Just remember, you're not the only one with influence. People do what I say whether they like it or not. Maybe I'll show them you're not as untouchable as you think, Lily shot back, bolstered by the presence of her friends. There was a beat of silence, and then her mother laughed softly. You think you can expose me? You have no idea what I'm capable of. Lily fought to suppress the surge of doubt rising within her. This was no time to falter, she had a plan, and she could be stronger. She sensed the support of her friends surrounding her, their resolve mixing with her own. Why do you care so much, anyway? Lily pressed, stepping forward. Why not just let me go? Because you represent everything I've built. You are my legacy. Her mother's voice hardened, the warmth drained from her smile. And I will not allow you to destroy it. As the words hung in the air, Lily's heart raced. This was about more than a mother and daughter, it was about power, control, and the lengths one would go to keep what they held dear. I won't be your pawn anymore, she declared, her determination ringing true. With a flicker, the light stabilized, and the tension in the room shifted once more. Lily glanced at Adam, Alexandra, and Evan, drawing strength from their unwavering presence. They had all made sacrifices for this moment, and it was time for her to own her truth. Leave now, before you regret it, her mother warned, the smile fading from her lips. Just know, in a few hours, the world will see you for who you truly are. But fear was replaced by something else, a fierce realization that she was not alone. The storm raged on outside, echoing the turmoil within, but within that chaos, a spark of hope began to ignite. Let them see, Lily said, feeling a surge of courage rise. If they want the truth, then they'll get it. With that, her mother's silhouette wavered at the edge of a dynamic host of mixed emotions: disdain, anger, and an unmistakable hint of concern. For the first time, Lily questioned whether her mother was truly invincible, and just like that, the door closed, leaving them to wrestle with the possible tides of change. What now? Adam asked, his voice breaking the heavy silence that followed. Lily knew the stakes, understanding now that the battle wasn't just about her. She had allies. She had hope. But most importantly, she had a chance. I know I can find the truth, she replied, resolve solidifying her words. And I'm ready to face whatever comes next. But as Lily turned to her friends with determination burning in her chest, she couldn't shake the feeling that her mother wouldn't back down easily. What would her next move be? With every heartbeat echoing in the silence, she knew they were bracing for a storm that had only just begun. The lights flickered back to life, illuminating the heavy silence that hung in the air like a thick fog. Lily could feel her heart working overtime, each beat a reminder of the stakes at play. She looked at Adam, Evan, and Alexandra, desperately searching for reassurance in their eyes. Yet, she felt the anxiety creeping in, whispering doubts that threatened to undermine everything she had just declared. I can't believe she just walked in here, Adam muttered, frustration clear in his voice. How did she even know we were here? It doesn't matter, Lily said, her voice steadier than she felt. We have to focus on what's next. Evan crossed his arms, brow furrowed. What's she planning? She's not the type to step back quietly. As they huddled together, uncertainty transformed into resolve within the group. Each of them had their own stories, their own battles, and now they were woven together by this shared purpose. Adam had faced his own confrontations. Alexandra had her past casting shadows on her present. And Evan? He had fought to emerge from the chaos of his childhood. They were stronger together, Lily reminded herself, a united front against the storm their lives had suddenly become. I think we need to get ahead of this, Lily continued, her mind racing. If she wants to play a game, then let us give her a run for her money. We need to find out what she's hiding. Everyone in that gala has to see the real story. Alexandra nodded, her resolve hardening. We can gather evidence. There must be something we can use against her, something that shows who she really is. Maybe we can talk to some of her former associates, Adam suggested. Witnesses that can expose her lies. People aren't exactly lining up to defend her. The plan began to take shape, the four of them brainstorming ideas and strategies like a tactical team preparing for battle. But as they plotted through the details, the storm outside began to pick up. The wind howled against the walls, rattling the windows. Lily couldn't shake the feeling that her mother was somehow still watching. She could almost feel the cold eyes piercing through the stormy night, tracking their every move. I bet she thinks she's got everything under control, Lily said, her voice louder than her thoughts. But she doesn't know us. We are not going to be her pawns anymore. As the group stood firm around her, there was a sudden crash of thunder, shaking the very foundation of the room. It jolted them all, and for a moment, they paused, reflecting the weight of what they were undertaking. Whatever happens, we have to stay together, Evan reminded them, his steady gaze shifting from one friend to another. Suddenly, the room felt charged with an unspoken energy. Hope flared in Lily's heart, mingling with a sense of dread. They might be walking into a trap, but they were armed with something that her mother couldn't control, friendship. I know what I have to do, Lily said quietly, the gravity of her words hanging in the air. I'll confront her tonight. Tonight? Adam's eyes widened. Isn't that pushing it? No, she insisted, gathering her courage like a shield. The longer we wait, the more space she has to manipulate this whole situation. I need to be the one who tells the truth. I'm not going to let her write the narrative anymore. As the wind howled outside, the friends exchanged glances, finding comfort in each other's determination. They knew this was just the beginning, but they were ready. Lily stepped forward, heart pulsing with conviction, then, without warning, the lights flickered again, plunging them into darkness for a fleeting moment. A crack of lightning illuminated the room, revealing the stark determination etched on their faces. That's it, she said, steadying herself. We go tonight. Together. But just as they rallied their strength, an ominous shiver ran down Lily's spine. She realized that her mother was not their only adversary. How far will she go to protect her empire? She whispered, staring into the uncertainty that loomed ahead. The question lingered in the air, echoing in their minds. What other secrets lay waiting in the shadows? As the storm raged outside, the true fight was just gearing up, and Lily was about to step into the eye of it. The gala was upon them, an extravagant display of wealth and influence that felt as foreign to Lily as the moon was to the sea. The venue sparkled with opulence, chandeliers swaying like dreams above a crowd of elites. Yet, for Lily, it was a battlefield cloaked in glamour, and she was ready to reclaim her narrative. Dressed in a simple black dress, she no longer felt like the scared girl trapped in the past. Standing with Evan, Adam, and Alexandra by her side, she felt a wave of determination wash over her. This was her moment. This was her chance to confront the shadows that threatened to consume her. "Remember our plan," Evan said, his voice firm yet filled with warmth. He was like an anchor, grounding her even as the storm inside her swirled. Lily nodded, breath hitching slightly as the familiar face of her mother scanned the room, flanked by hushed whispers and knowing gazes. "There she is. Just act natural," Adam reminded her, his eyes darting around for potential threats. They were all acutely aware that their strategy hinged on a delicate balance of stealth and courage. As they intermingled with the crowd, the pulsating energy of the gala felt electric, yet it masked an undercurrent of fear that kept pulling at Lily's heart. She glanced around the room, spotting her mother's sharp smile, so practiced, so false. The woman truly believed she could control the narrative, but Lily was determined to prove otherwise. "Let's split up," Alexandra suggested, scanning the crowd. "We'll gather intel from different angles. Meet back here in 30 minutes. Nods of agreement rippled through the group as they went their separate ways. Lily took a deep breath and steeled herself. Her heart raced as she approached a group of well-dressed guests, eavesdropping on snippets of banter. They talked of investments, numbers dancing amid their champagne flutes, but Lily listened for the whispers of truth hidden beneath it all. There. One guest spoke of her mother's unethical business practices, murmurs of people who had been burned in the wake of her ambition. Each word ignited something within Lily, a fierce resolve that surged through her. Just then, she felt a chill slide down her spine, and the air around her shifted. Her mother was approaching, a weighty presence that demanded attention. Lily's heart thudded heavily in her chest, but she straightened her back and stood firm. "Lily, darling, how lovely of you to grace us with your presence," her mother purred, elegance dripping from her tone. "I'm not intimidated by you, Mom," Lily stated firmly, surprising even herself with the conviction in her voice. "Tonight, the truth is coming out." Her mother's smile faltered for a split second, but it quickly returned, sharper than before. "You really think you can strike fear into my heart? This isn't about fear." Without thinking, Lily advanced, her body shaking with an energy she hadn't known was possible. "This is about taking back control. About showing people what you truly are." For a moment, time stood still, the air crackling between them like electric tension. But then she caught Evan's eye across the room, a silent crutch of support. It filled her with confidence. She wasn't alone. As her mother's facade began to visibly crack, a chorus of whispers erupted among the guests, pulling them together like a crowd magnetized by an atom's force. "What is happening? What is going on?" Voices began to rise, alarm spreading like wildfire. Just then, Adam appeared, a mix of determination and urgency etched across his face as he pulled Lily aside. "We've got evidence, the kind that can turn this entire place upside down. A contact just confirmed everything we suspected." Lily's heart soared, a rush of adrenaline igniting her spirit. "Let us show them." Together, they stepped onto the makeshift stage, the crowd turning murmurs of curiosity into captivated silence. "Ladies and gentlemen," Evan called out, commanding the room with his presence. "Tonight isn't just a celebration. It's a reckoning, a moment for every voice that has been silenced. Lily felt a wave of empowerment surge through her. With a deep breath, she stepped forward, her voice strong. I'm Lily, and for too long, I've lived in the shadows of my mother's machinations. But not anymore. The truth is my ally, and I will not be a pawn in this deadly game any longer. Every gaze locked onto her, uncertainty shifting into realization. She felt the warmth of support envelop her like a protective shield. Words poured from her heart, unveiling her mother's history, the dark truths she had unearthed. With each revelation, the crowd began to stir, eyes widening, disbelief morphing into disapproval. Gasps echoed, and the fangs of contempt started to sharpen. Her mother's once commanding presence now seemed fragile, crumbling before the truth. And then, as the pieces fell into place, Lily turned to face her mother once more. You have built your empire on the exploitation of others, but your reign ends here. Lily's voice radiated strength, piercing through the presence of fear that had once held her captive. Gasps erupted in the crowd as her mother's expression darkened, fury igniting in her eyes. You think this will end well for you? She hissed, barely containing her rage. Before Lily could respond, a member of the crowd stepped forward, a former business associate of her mother. She's right. I've had enough of your lies. You need to answer for what you've done. The tide of the crowd shifted. More voices joined, emboldened by Lily's bravery. The atmosphere crackled like electricity as her mother's grip on the room began to slip away. In that triumphant moment, Lily discovered something powerful within herself. Hope had been buried beneath years of abandonment, but now it bloomed vibrantly, illuminating the darkness with undeniable truth. As people rallied around her, uniting against the shadows of deception, she realized that the storm they had experienced was just the beginning. The true transformation lay not only in confronting her past but in crafting a future filled with courage and authenticity. The once solitary girl, hidden in the refuse of neglect, had transformed into a beacon of hope, a force of unity, inspiring everyone around her. Together, they stood beneath the shimmering chandeliers, a beautiful community rising up from the ashes, ready to face whatever lay ahead. United by love, resilience, and the unbreakable bonds of family forged in the fires of hardship, they would reshape their destiny. And for Lily, this was the moment she had always waited for, the moment she stepped into her truth and emerged stronger than ever before. Now, you need to subscribe immediately to the channel to not miss the next exclusive stories. This is the moment to show your support. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm. Comment your reactions and feelings about this emotional ending. And don't wait not even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. Only true fans understand the importance of supporting the channel through these actions.